have now left. As you pointed out, we reached out to Legacy Emmanuel earlier today and throughout the afternoon and early evening, looking for any confirmation on the number of patients that were transported here and their condition. So far, we have not heard back. We were also told earlier today they were in lockdown, and we've not received any information officially from Legacy Emmanuel. Behind me, you can see the emergency entrance here at Legacy Emmanuel Hospital. This is a level 1 trauma center. So oftentimes in dire situations, serious injuries, this is where the patients come. We have seen some ambulances arrive, although none with lights and sirens since we've been here for the past hour or so. We've also seen police officers and also hospital security roaming about. We hear in the distance what sounds like some protest activity, and we've seen a few people, maybe half dozen at most, kind of wandering outside the perimeter of the hospital. Although we are standing on the sidewalk outside of Legacy Emmanuel property, which is typically protocol, that they ask us to stay back. So far, though, we've gotten no official word from Legacy Emmanuel as we continue to wait for any type of update on how many patients were transported and are being treated here. Once we get that information, we'll pass it along to you.
Appreciate you keeping us updated on what you're seeing and what you're hearing there at Legacy Emmanuel in North Portland. Thank you, Kyle. And as he was saying, we don't know the conditions of the two people shot. What we do know is that around 2:30, a man did call for help. When police responded, they found two people, a man and a woman with gunshot wounds. And at that point, officers apparently applied a tourniquet. Then they took those two people to the hospital, and will continue to monitor where they might be, what their conditions might be as this story develops.
Homeland Security saying the driver of a vehicle, the start started with a vehicle around that medical center at Venice Health, and saying the driver tried to run over law enforcement agents during that targeted stop rather. And that's when agents opened fire. That's the official line from Homeland Security this evening. Obviously sensitive considering the context of everything that's happened in the 24 hours, especially in Minneapolis, where an ICE agent shot and killed a 37-year-old woman. That investigation also in its early stages. But I want to bring in John Adams on the South Waterfront outside the ICE facility, which, John, has been a bit of a flashpoint over the last few months, of course, with the president trying to bring in the National Guard to calm things down, a judge basically blocking the president from doing that. President Trump within the last few weeks saying he was going to back off. And now this, but calls again, John, for calm across the city. What are you seeing right now?
Well, David, a flashpoint, I would say, is a great way to describe what this facility has been throughout the last 6-7 months or so. But as of right now, we see about 15 people, 15, maybe 20 at most, protesters out here. Most of them have arrived within the last hour since we got on scene here around 4 o'clock. There are only about 5 people here at this time. I'm going to go ahead and step out of the way so you can see what's going on in front of the facility. And what we have seen is right now is typical of what we've seen a lot of times we've been down here so far this year. You see people in costumes, you see people with American flags, with signs, folks with megaphones, folks playing music. We have seen the gate of the facility open one time to let a vehicle out of the facility. And at that point, people usually start yelling at the folks in that vehicle. But what we have not seen so far out here tonight, we have not seen any federal agents come out of the building to come up to protesters. We have not seen any protesters in the road blocking traffic. You know, this is typically a very busy time of day traffic wise here, with a lot of cars coming in and out of this section of the waterfront area. Thus far, we have not seen any interruptions in traffic coming in and out of the facility. Protesters have lined sections of the sidewalk with what it looks like to be candles or some sort of lights or something like that. But as of right now, we have not seen.
Child, I'm late. What is going on in the world? I'm trying to rest. I'm trying to go to sleep. And you roll over and check the freaking news to see what's going on. Yes, this stream just started because at some point between the last time I looked at the internet around 5 o'clock and now, it's freaking 2 people have been shot in Portland by ICE, allegedly. 1 man, 1 woman. While they don't, oh my God. Listen. I don't know. We try and figure it out. I was letting it go till tomorrow. I was chilling till tomorrow. Clearly not. Reaper coming through as always. Let me let this play while I check on my email. So that's what's going on. It happened at 2. Well, that's 2. What is 2 their time would be 5 EST. So that makes about sense. Last I looked at the computer was 5, and now it's like 8. And now all hell is broken loose.
Police Chief Bob Day also issuing a statement saying, "We understand the heightened emotion and tension many are feeling in the wake of the shooting in Minneapolis, but I'm asking the community to remain calm as we work to learn more." Again, that coming from Chief Bob Day. We're closely looking for any other statements that come in from local, state, or federal officials. And as they do, we will pass those along. Back to you guys.
Okay.
All right, Devin Haskins in the newsroom. I mean, the reaction just coming in minute to minute and largely condemning the actions. I mean, it is early. While Homeland Security says shots were fired defensively and 2 people were injured, you have a lot of people jumping to other conclusions. But I have to mention, we have not seen any of the evidence here. We just have statements and pieces and attention around a vehicle and 2 people who are injured. So we just have to caution that as well, that this is going to take time, and it's going to take time for the details to come out to get some.
Lord, the title of this is KGW News. Border Patrol agents shoot 2 people in Portland. So Reaper was already on this, child. So over here on ABC News, it's saying the same thing. Let's hear what they got to say, child.
Breaking news out of Oregon. Local and federal sources tell ABC News federal agents shot 2 people in Portland just a short time ago. We do not yet know the circumstances, but we do know that the agents involved, we are told, are with U.S. Customs and Border Protection. The FBI is now investigating. We're also learning that the Portland City Council stopped its meeting due to the shooting. Our Alex Stone joins us now from Los Angeles. Alex, what are you learning about this shooting in Portland today?
Yeah, Lindsay, all of this unfolding right now at a time of heightened tensions, obviously, in the country. We understand from Portland police that the call came in at around 2:24 today. 2:18, they got the call. They got on scene at 2:24 in this neighborhood that you see here where the patients were found. They say that it was a call of a federal agent shooting. When Portland police got there, they found 2 victims, a man and a woman. The FBI will end up being the lead agency on this, but Portland police were the first to get there and the ones to respond in.
Okay, so I don't know anything. I'm just finding this out. So we piece this together as usual for as long as I can stand it. But the odds are, let me go with the odds. The odds are that everybody, all these quote unquote peaceful protesters have been protesting it up, wilding the F out, and going more at the daggone ICE agents, more so than they were yesterday, because they all pissed off about what happened yesterday. And now they did the same thing yet again, child. Playing right into the hands of the bullshit. Playing right into it, child. I can't deal with fools.
To that scene. When they got there, they were injured. The shooting had occurred. The president of the city council said this a moment ago.
There was a shooting involving 2 Portlanders in East Portland with federal agents. We are still waiting for more details, but needed to pull counselors to get a briefing and an update so that we could ensure that we were prepared to respond. I'm sorry to be delivering this news today. We are all holding both Ms. Good's family and the families of these Portlanders. As we sit here, as far as we know, both of these individuals are still alive, and we are hoping for more positive updates through the afternoon.
Child, what is going on with her hair? Hairline. The people shot drove 20 blocks to go to the apartment while they were in front of a hospital. I'm sure they're agitators. I'm sure they're the peaceful protesters. I have no doubt. Because they're now emboldened based off of them thinking that they can do whatever they want and they're pissed. So now let's go at them even more. We saw what they were doing yesterday. No doubt they're just getting more and more. But they're so peaceful. And they're the calm ones, of course. So even though Timmy, I guess only people listened in Minnesota, but Timmy specifically, okay, it's not just me. Timmy specifically said, peaceful protesting, calm down, don't play into their hands. And what do these liberals do? Play into their hands, Child, they said, don't do this. How many times did we hear this yesterday? Don't do this. It plays into their hands. And then they'll bring out the National Guard, blah, 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 blah. I heard that Philly is having issues in the city, and now it's this in New York. Woo. It scared me. Shout out to EJ. Thank you, boo. He said Portland protester are the worst, but they FAFO by ICE. There's a lot of people looking like they FAFO. It's just ridiculous. Can people learn how to go home? Go home.
Now, police are saying, Lindsay, they don't know the conditions on these two victims, that officers have determined that they were injured. They got them medical aid. They put the tourniquets on them and then handed them over to medics to care for them there. The police chief in Portland putting out a statement a moment ago, we just got it here, saying we are still in the early stages of this incident. We understand the heightened emotion and the tension that many people are feeling in the wake of the shooting in Minneapolis, and the chief asking the community to be calm right now. But they are investigating, and this shooting did occur in Portland.
All right, Alex Stone for us. Thank you. We know that you'll stay on top of this story and provide updates.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. Let's see. Over here to the K2 News, KATU.
Some scheduled programming right now with some breaking news. Local and federal sources are telling ABC News federal agents shot two people in Portland a short time ago.
The circumstances are unclear as the FBI.
This is and with this, it's specifically making the ICE agents look bad. And of course, many people will be like, oh my God, how dare they do this? Just like they were saying, they could have just shot their tire. They could have just did this. They could have just did that. Well, the quote unquote protesters could have just not been the fuck down there. But nobody ever seems to say that.
Is responding. The agents who shot, we are told, are with the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, not ICE. The FBI will investigate as the lead agency. A statement, we're told, will be coming soon from the FBI.
We have several crews out in the field right now in multiple locations. We're waiting to hear more information from them as we talk to police officers, as well as find out what's happening at City Hall right now.
What we can tell you is City Council was meeting earlier today. They were electing a vice president and president. They abruptly took a break from that meeting. We're told they will reconvene at 3:40 in about 5 minutes. We have teams at City Hall who told us the City Council members rushed upstairs to the mayor's office. This is a live look now at the City Council chambers. We also have crews spread out in East Portland going to some scenes we are told may be related to this situation. Once again, waiting on City Council to possibly reconvene here at 3:40.
We do understand there are some active scenes in Southeast Portland as well as at a couple hospital locations. But as you just heard Bright say, we are monitoring what's happening at City Hall. We have a crew there as well as multiple locations around Portland. Just to reiterate what has been sent down to us, local and federal sources tell ABC News that federal agents did shoot two people here in Portland a short time ago within the last hour or so. The agents who shot, we're told, are with the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, not ICE. The FBI will investigate as the lead agency.
And to give you an idea, we have 3 crews headed out right now to this reported scene, possibly in East Portland. We have that crew at City Hall. We also have a crew standing by at one of the hospitals that may be involved, and we're hoping to get some more of those details here from City Council as soon as they reconvene, possibly at 3:40.
It's really important for us to make sure that everything is confirmed before we let any other information out. So that's why we're waiting until we hear back from our crews that are on multiple scenes at this time.
Yes, certainly. As Thunvi Vermos, who's at City Hall for us, she told us there was really that rush up to the mayor's office. No one was talking. The police chief went in there as well.
Going upstairs to the mayor's office, we also saw the police chief, and you can see actually right now some councilors are starting to file in. We're hoping to get some answers. I was told by security that at 3:40 they'd reconvene, and we've been trying to ask them as we've seen them come out of their various chambers what happened, but they've been tight-lipped. It sounds like they're waiting to make an announcement. We also, like I said, we saw that chief of police, and we're seeing more councilors step in right now. You can see that they're about to walk in, and we're going to monitor what happens. But in short, we saw something abrupt. We saw people rushing upstairs to the mayor's office. No one came out, and now they're about to reconvene. We'll be tracking this, and I'll send it back to you guys for now.
Okay, as we were just mentioning what happened, the events that did unfold yesterday in Minneapolis, there have been several protests and vigils happening all over the nation. In fact, the governor of Minnesota has actually said that he has authorized the National Guard to come in and support local law enforcement in many of the jurisdictions because there have been so many.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, there you go. Off and running, child, playing right into the hands of what they allegedly didn't want, thinking that they're going to make the president look bad and the administration and the ICE agents. So we're going to go out here and we're going to agitate them. We're going to agitate him. I promise you that's what it is, allegedly. Allegedly, but I promise you that's what it was. And so just make everyone else unsafe with your foolishness, because these people that allegedly supposedly care about everybody else don't be thinking about everybody else when they go with these cockamamie stupid ass plans that don't make no damn sense, putting everyone in danger. But then they'll say it wasn't us, when it definitely is, child. Anyway, come on, child. Come on, Katu.
Vigils and protests taking place.
Yeah, a lot of people at City Hall right now. We're working our sources in the police department as well, the police bureau, and at BOA to see if we can get some information. But as Thumby said, as City Council reconvenes, possibly we can get some more information. We have a live shot too, outside the City Council chambers.
Let's see what other shots that we can take from. Yes, you can see some people there. This is inside City Hall at this point.
And that looks to be outside one of the City Council offices. You can see that's a guard right
It looked like a bunch of protesters up there being jackasses, allegedly.
there. I can't tell if that's the mayor's office on the third floor. It looks like that might be. Thunby told us earlier that some of those protesters had made their way up to the mayor's office before any of this news got out. As I said, they were trying to get him to take a more forceful stance against ICE. You can see them talking there.
Yeah, several demonstrators with holding signs and looking a little concerned or agitated at this moment.
Agitated, ma'am. Agitated.
Let's dip back into City Council chambers and see if any more City Councilors are filtering in. If you are just now joining us, local and federal sources tell ABC News that federal agents shot 2 people here in Portland a short time ago, possibly around 2:30. Circumstances are unclear, but the FBI is responding. They are investigating. We're told the agents who shot these individuals are with U.S. Customs and Border Protection, not ICE. Once again, FBI will be investigating that. We're expecting a statement from the FBI soon, as well as statements from our local leaders here as soon as...
He said Border Protection, not ICE? Okay, Border Protection and not ICE.
City Council gets back.
We have multiple crews out on the in the field right now, several at a couple of different area hospitals, as well as the potential scene of where this took place, Southeast Portland. Let's turn now to Christina Dardanelli right now, and I believe you're in Southeast Portland, Christina.
Yeah, Deb, we just got here just in time to talk to a couple people here at the scene. There are still multiple police vehicles. I'm going to step aside so you can get an idea of what's going on. Lots of neighbors still standing around. A lot of people hearing what you just heard reported now, that breaking news just coming in. We just got here to the scene, multiple police vehicles. You can see a lot of neighbors standing around and watching. I talked to a couple people who say they did see the 2 injured people drive up and get out of a car. They say they believe that those people may be related to someone in this area. It's still unclear. That information unconfirmed, but that's what I'm hearing from just some of the neighbors here on the ground, that they saw those people get out of their car, were injured. Lots of people saying they saw, medical ambulances coming this way, multiple different police vehicles flying down Burnside, getting up here. And you can still see that presence here. We're looking to get more information for you at this time on this breaking news event. But right now, just a lot of neighbors standing around like us, trying to figure out exactly what happened here, the sequence of events, where it started. It does appear that this was the point where it kind of concluded, but we're trying to figure out exactly where this started still. We'll continue following up here and trying to get you the latest information on what's going on as we follow this breaking news scene. For now, back to you guys. We'll see you shortly.
Hey, Christina, can you just tell us exactly where you are in relation to what's that behind you? Is the road closed?
Yes. So the caution tape here you're seeing, we are on 146 and Burnside. That caution tape covering about 1 block here that I can see at the end of. That, of course, is just on this side.
All right. Well, all right. So shout out to whoever said, Michael Prewitt, to check TMZ. I'm sure people won't be happy with that, child, but it says Portland, DHS says victim is Venezuelan gang member, child. We just speaking now. It don't even matter. This is as of 4:46 PST, which is almost 8 o'clock. That makes about sense. EST. The Department of Homeland Security says Border Patrol agents were conducting a traffic stop targeting an alleged Venezuelan illegal alien affiliated with the transnational Trinidad prostitution ring. Lord help your people. DHS says when Border Patrol agents identified themselves to the people in the car, the driver, who the feds allege is a Trinidad gang member, weaponized his vehicle and attempted to run over the law enforcement agents. The feds say the agent fired a defensive shot out of fear for his life and safety, and the driver fled the scene with his passenger. DHS also says the alleged gang member here was recently involved in a shooting in Portland. They like to shoot in Portland. Another shooting involving federal immigrant agents and civilians, and this time the feds shot 2 people in Oregon. Let's see what this is. Oh yeah, it's opening up to Twitter. Hold on. All right, let's go to Twitter. ICE agents allegedly shoot 2 people in Portland. City officials say the shooting occurred near East Burnside and 141st Avenue. FBI is expected to release a statement soon. To say what? Child, I'm so in the I don't give a damn mood right now. You just don't understand. Who is in Portland? Anybody in Portland can give us any information, child. Ooh, we got it. This looks like it might be a decent area. Look at this. Is this the headline we want every day? Is this the headline we want to see every damn day? Let me see. The FBI's office in Portland says they're investigating an agent-involved shooting involving Customs and Border Patrol agents in which 2 people were wounded. Federal authorities say the shooting happened Thursday around 2:15 p.m. Shooting took place here. Patients found here. What the hell? That's a long-ass way. The Portland Police Bureau say they responded to a call about a shooting and found a man and a woman with apparent gunshot wounds. Cops say officers applied a tourniquet bandage and called for emergency medical personnel who transported the victims to a hospital. Cops say the victims' conditions are unclear. Dang. Is this the scene from yesterday? Okay, that's the scene from yesterday. I was about to say it looks exactly the same. The Portland shooting comes one day after an ICE agent shot and killed a woman in Minneapolis. PBB Chief Bob Day says, "We are still in the early stages of this incident. We understand the heightened emotion and tension many are feeling in the wake of the shooting in Minneapolis, but I'm asking the community to remain calm as we work to learn more." I guess that's a picture of Portland. Nice picture. Portland Mayor Keith Wilson blasted the feds in a statement. Lord help your people. Starting already. Just starting already. If nobody knows what's going on, why is the mayor starting? He want to be like Fry, whatever his name is. I'm losing my voice and shit. We cannot sit by while constitutional protections erode and bloodshed mounts. Portland is not a training ground for militarized agents, and the full force threatened by the administration has deadly consequences. As mayor, I call on ICE to end all operations in Portland until a full investigation can be completed. We reached out to the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security. So far, no word back. Wash, rinse, repeat. Child, please. This is so just obvious. It's just so obvious, but play into their hands. Leave. ICE leave. Border Patrol leave. Everybody leave. Everybody leave, okay? Because clearly they're just going to keep doing this over and over and over again, in my opinion, to make ICE, the government, Border Patrol look bad. Let them bask in the ambience, as far as I'm concerned, and enjoy whatever comes to you. And when they say they need help, don't give it to them. Give them nothing. Figure it the fuck out.
Burn Street, there is still, I believe that is what eastbound Brian traffic going.
Christine, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we're going to go. I apologize
close.
for interrupting, but we're going to go right now to Portland City Council as they're adjourning.
An incident that occurred in the eastern part of our city, just a day after the shooting in Minneapolis of Renee Good. There was a shooting involving 2 Portlanders in East Portland with federal agents. We are still waiting for more details, but needed to pull counselors to get a briefing and an update so that we could ensure that we were prepared to respond. I'm sorry to be delivering this news today. We are all holding both Ms. Good's family and the families of these Portlanders as we sit here. As far as we know, both of these individuals are
the Treinta de Aragua gang. You're holding them in your prayers, ma'am. All right, go ahead with your nice hairline.
still alive, and we are hoping for more positive updates through the afternoon. Colleagues, we recessed in the middle of answers from 2 of our colleagues to a question that was posed, I believe, by Councillor Green. Councillor Novick, I cut you off at the end of your response. Did you have anything further you wanted to add?
I did not.
Okay.
Point of order.
Councillor.
I guess I have a question. I don't know.
A point of order will get us there. Let us know what you need.
I just feel like we have to go address what just happened. But I know that the charter requires us to have this election today, and I don't want to unduly delay anything, but it feels really weird to continue this meeting and this vote when something so serious has happened? I would look to Attorney Robert Taylor. I do believe that he has an interpretation that would allow us to end our meeting today and pick up this topic on another day if we wish to move in that direction. Mr. Taylor?
Thank you. The charter does require the council to elect the president or vice president at their first meeting. Today is a continuation of the first meeting that began yesterday.
With Blair's audio there, but appreciate her reporting. She's on East Burnside there. Again, 2 locations here. One, the shooting scene near a medical center. This is just in southeast Portland, just east of I-205 near Mall 205 and about 3 miles east Burnside to 146, where the 2 people, we understand, a 33-year-old man and 32-year-old woman, shot, it appears, by a single federal agent, according to NBC News and DHS Homeland Security, shot by a single federal agent, hospitalized, recovering from their injuries. As far as we know, both are still alive. But again, we do not have an update.
All right, child. They don't know nothing. All right. It seems to me, as far as I can tell, they don't know nothing. So let's just see what's going on in Minnesota, child. They out here protesting peacefully. Go on.
As we leave tonight, I want us to leave with a couple things on our minds. First, we want to leave thinking about Renee Nicole Good and her family and all what our community is going through. Secondly, I want you to think about what are you going to do to stay in these streets?
Look.
To continue with our legacy, what we need to do is we need to continue to defend our community. So if you're not yet in a rapid response group, if you're not yet in your community's mutual aid group to support families affected by ICE, tonight is the night that you get involved. And lastly, stay in these streets. The noise demonstration tomorrow, 7 p.m. and Mirax March Saturday at 1 p.m.
Nope.
And I want everyone to find a buddy. If you came alone, find a buddy to make sure that you get home safe and your buddy gets home safe too. Please leave in pairs, because does MPD keep us safe? Who keeps us?
So y'all already planning to go out there and cause chaos and trouble. You going in pairs. So when the pairs stop, I ain't even gonna say it, y'all.
Safe. Who keeps us safe? Who keeps us safe? For our final chant, justice for, justice for, justice for. Stay safe, everyone, and stay in these streets.
Woo! No. Stay safe, everyone, but stay in these streets. All right. These people, I just recently realized while I was calming the hell down that these people think that this is like what Hitler did. And so they think that they're fighting back against alleged Hitler. Child, you know what I was doing while all this was going on? I'm doing my investigation into where I'm moving to the Caribbean. Because, child, these people are crazy. I don't have time. I don't have time to be sitting around here with this bullshit. Because people are effing crazy. Out of their mind. Yeah, take heed. What the F? These people crazy. But since I'm here, y'all, if you didn't know, JD Vance came on earlier today. And let me tell you, from the portions, because I actually had to work today, which is probably why I'm tired. He let him have it. He wasn't playing no games. He was being the man that men I aspire to be around. Okay, so let's listen to him. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit to get through it. This is the press secretary first, and then JD comes on right behind her
to make an additional important announcement on this front. So please, Mr. Vice President, will be joining us now.
Thank you. Great. Well, good afternoon, everybody. And I want to echo some of what Carolyn said about what we're doing to combat the rampant fraud that exists in our immigration system, thanks to failed politicians and thanks to people who allow the American taxpayer to be taken advantage of for far too long. I think it's important to understand why this matters to the American people. I am a father of 3 young kids, a lot of people in my generation. What is that going on there?
Yeah, what is that noise?
Okay. CNN installed this broken camera just to throw me off my game, but it's not going to work. So here's the simple fact here. If you're a young parent, struggling to afford childcare in the United States of America, there are programs that we have to make it easier for your kids to get in daycare, for your kids to get in preschool. Those programs should.
JD, I hate to interrupt you, child. They don't want that. They want it for free. Shout out to Ma'am Danby, who has. I'm gonna wait and show y'all the video. Let me find it. I'm gonna show y'all the video. Go ahead, JD.
Go to American citizens, not be defrauded by Somali immigrants and others. Make it hard for you to get the access to the resources you need. But number two, making it easier for people who shouldn't even be in this country to fleece the United States and our taxpayers to begin with. We have.
JD, they don't want to hear that. They want to complain about how high the eggs are, how high the milk is, and the help that's actually out there. Pores. I'm not on camera right now because I wasn't trying to stream, but I gotta do what I gotta do. Pores. This is what I've been trying to tell y'all. This is what I've been trying to tell. I try to tell y'all. See, y'all don't be trying to hear me, and you depend on the government, and your actual government allowed this fraud to happen, and allegedly may have supported it. And you still remain where the hell you are because you depend on same government. It could be Portland, it could be Minnesota, it could be Boston. Hell, it could be Pennsylvania for all I know, and probably is. Okay. But this is what happens when you sit up here and you depend on others, and you just go ahead and think you're living your best life, and then all of a sudden you can't afford shit, and then you want to be mad at the rich people who always gonna be rich, and you think that you should have their money, and now somebody got you thinking that it makes sense for all those people who have money should be giving it to you because you're poor. And I don't think that that's how it should be. Now, I'm not poor, but I don't want their money. I don't know why y'all want their money. I don't want their money because I don't want to give my money away. And it's okay for people who actually work to want to keep their money, right? So JD trying to tell y'all that for the help that you need, pores and fake pores was being stolen from you illegally, allegedly, okay? And now y'all out here suffering and you're mad. And now you're being led by people with purple and red hair and orange hair who look like they ain't took a bath in 10 weeks. And y'all want to listen to them and get out in these streets against people who actually have weapons. And you want to agitate them so that they do something to you. And then if your ass don't come home, do you think them people really give a damn? And the people that you're allegedly fighting for, do you think they give a damn? I don't think they do. They just like, yeah, look at them fools out there cutting for us. We love that, okay? While they still going, and this ain't even about Somalis. This is about asylum seekers. This is whoever's under the asylum seeker moniker, phrase, whatever. That's who the problem is, okay? Now, whoever's lumped up in there that might be doing the fraud, that's them too. But remember, shout out to Chicago, because someone just synopsed this earlier, even though we synopsed it last night. When the newcomers, as Brandon likes to call them, came, he put everything into them. He put all this money into them. Businesses were leaving even though crime is down, or crime was down. It's still down, y'all. Crime is still down. Businesses left. So you can't give them to pay for anything. So that means it comes to you, poors, middle income, fake poors. That's where it goes to, right? So then you got these daggone high ass taxes, and now y'all looking like, what happened? Oh yeah, Brandon used all that money to pay for all those newcomers, the people that y'all now out there fighting for, right? And then he gave the tag to the poors. So the poors decided to go out there into the city and get in front of Trump Tower because they're so deluded. And instead of blaming Brandon, who actually is responsible, or even JD Pritzker, they said it's Donald Trump's fault, even though it's Shaddam Cargo, even though Brandon said he wasn't going to raise your taxes, and he raised the taxes. But y'all don't hear none of that because you're delusional, because you listen to people with orange hair, blue hair, red hair, who look like they ain't took a bath in 10 days and choose to follow them instead of thinking, you know what? I remember when he said he wasn't going to raise no taxes. I remember when the, who is it, child? What football? Is it football? One of them left, child. One of them sports teams said, we got to go. All those businesses downtown, all the buildings are basically empty. You see that people are doing smash and grabs in the Gucci, Fucci, Poochie, and Lucci store. And Brandon says no one needs to be, oh no, what was her name? The DA before this new DA. I forget her name. She said, we don't prosecute people here. You don't know And so the criminals stayed out there and kept harassing and stealing and carrying on and making the city worse, even though they told y'all crime is down. Crime is down. Oh, the Bears are talking about leaving? Okay. Crime is down. And I guess y'all believed it, right? Okay. So then crime is down, even though all the crime that gets reported on a daily basis, crime is down, child. All right. And then with all that crime, businesses had to close. They was closing. The Walgreens, the Eckards, the Rite Aid, and CVS. Remember, y'all? Not only there, but over there in California and all these other places. But we've been watching Chicago, Baltimore, and California. Just giving you the Kim Fox. Thank you, boo. Just giving you the replay, okay, on how we got here. So then, allegedly, some of y'all at least out there talking about, we gonna turn Chicago red. We gonna turn Chicago red. Hopefully y'all do, because let me tell you something. If y'all reelect Brandon, like they reelected the other Brandon, the other black meat over in Baltimore, child, we really gonna have some popcorn up in here watching this shit. We gonna really have some popcorn up in here watching this shit. But y'all, let me let JD get back to it after I acknowledge Prince. Thank you, boo. He said, hey, sis, I just sent you an email, Tim Pool, breaking down frame by frame what happened yesterday. Check it out when you can. It's informative. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Shout out to y'all who are here. Please make sure you hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you are new.
Actually activated a major interagency task force to make it possible to get to the heart of this fraud. We have Department of Agriculture resources that are focused on SNAP fraud so that people who need food benefits can get them, but illegal aliens and other fraudsters don't. We have over 1,500 subpoenas that the Department of Justice has issued to get to the heart of the fraud ring. We've done almost 100 indictments, mostly Somali immigrants, but also a few others. And of course, we're looking in with broad investigatory authority to a number of the instances of wrongdoing that we've seen in Minneapolis. But we also want to expand this. We know that the fraud isn't just happening in Minneapolis, it's also happening in states like Ohio. It's happening in states like California. And so what we're doing in order to help coordinate this remarkable interagency effort from the Trump administration, but also to make sure that we prosecute the bad guys and do it as swiftly and efficiently as possible, is we are creating a new Assistant Attorney General position who will have nationwide jurisdiction over the issue of fraud. Now, of course, that person's efforts will start and focus primarily in Minnesota, but it is going to be a nationwide effort because, unfortunately, the American people have been defrauded in a very nationwide way. I want to thank a couple of people for their cooperation, in particular Pam Bondi, our Attorney General, first of all, for getting a lot of resources to Minneapolis to start to investigate and prosecute this fraud, really at an industrial scale. We've never seen fraud like this in the history.
It's fast because I've sped it up because, child, I ain't got all day. Thank you, Nick Taylor. He said, I did a short on them going to Trump Tower, and today an old bearded black man comment that I'm deriding Trump for pointing that part out. Pointing what out? The actual facts that y'all look crazy going in front of Trump Tower when you should be going in front of Brandon's office or JB Pritzker's office? No, they are deriding Trump so that they can get some attention because black people just got that man on the brain 55 million hours a damn day. He ain't got shit to do with none of that. It's all Brandon freaking Johnson, a black mayor that y'all black asses elected. So I'm just a little confused as to why you going over there to the white man building when you should be going over to the black man's house. Not his house. Let me not say that, child. The black man office. Because, child, he the one that did it. When he sat there and told y'all, I'm not going to raise taxes. Just spend $1 billion and figure out spend $1 billion and become negative and then figure out later how you're going to sit up there and get the money back, which is what they're about to do in New Damn York. I'm still looking for that video.
Of our country. Pam has been doing a great job to get the resources there to uncover it. But importantly, creating a job like this often takes months, sometimes even longer. When we realized that we needed this Associate Attorney General position, Pam got this person up and running in about a week. We're going to make the nomination hopefully in the next few days. We'll obviously let you guys know who that is when we do it. I've talked to Senate Majority Leader John Thune, who has promised me swift confirmation for this official. But this is the person who is going to make sure that we stop defrauding the American people. Here's one final thing I'll say about this. I've heard a lot of people say that we need a special counsel to investigate fraud in the United States of America. I actually agree, and that's what this position does. It has all the benefits, all the resources, all the authority of a special counsel, but with two crucial differences. Number one, it will be run out of the White House under the supervision of me and the President of the United States. And
oh, child, you know they're not going for that, right? I mean, I hear you, JD, but they're not going for that. That's going to be a problem.
Number two, it's actually constitutionally legitimate. As you guys may know, the special counsel statute has some major constitutional questions. When we get the bad guys, we want to make sure we get them permanently and they don't have some legal technicality they can get out of, which is why we set it up as an associate attorney general. I'll take some questions, but I want to make just one final observation here. When I was actually walking out here, somebody sent me a photo of a CNN headline about what happened in Minneapolis. And this is the headline. I'm just going to read it. Outrage after ICE officer kills U.S. citizen in Minneapolis. Well, that's one way to put it, and that is the way that many people in the corporate media have put this attack over the last 24 hours. And I say attack very, very intentionally, because this was an attack on federal law enforcement. This was an attack on law and order. This was an attack on the American people. The way that the media, by and large, has reported this story has been an absolute disgrace, and it puts our law enforcement officers at risk every single day. What that headline leaves out is the fact that that very ICE officer nearly had his life ended, dragged by a car 6 months ago, 33 stitches in his leg. So you think maybe he's a little bit sensitive about somebody ramming him with an automobile? What that headline leaves out is that that woman was there to interfere with a legitimate law enforcement operation in the United States of America. What that headline leaves out is that that woman is part of a broader left-wing network to attack, to dox, to assault, and to make it impossible for our ICE officers to do their job. If the media wants to tell the truth, they ought to tell the truth that a group of left-wing radicals have been working tirelessly, sometimes using domestic terror techniques to try to make it impossible for the president of the United States to do what the American people elected him to do, which is enforce our immigration laws. The president stands with ICE. I stand with ICE. We stand with all of our law enforcement officers. And part of that is recognizing that you people in the media, not everybody in this room, but many people in this room have been lying about this attack. She was trying to ram this guy with her car. He shot back. He defended himself. He's already been seriously wounded in law enforcement operations before. And everybody who's been repeating the lie that this is some innocent woman who was out for a drive in Minneapolis when a law enforcement officer shot.
Oh, let me pause you right there. JD is talking like JD right now is talking like a parent who's pissed off at his son. Okay. He is like, I've had enough. Shout out to JD for standing up to this foolishness. But if y'all weren't here last night, this came up on ARP, A Righteous Perspective show. Shout out to him. From your favorite place, Generation Z, and probably most of you liberals, TikTok. All right. Let me first acknowledge Prince with the membership for 21 months. I appreciate you, hon. He says, I need to send my free monthly membership super chat that YouTube charges me $5 for before Tim Waltz gives it to the Somali Leering Center. Shout out to all that we have been leering over the last few days and probably for the next week. Okay. But let's see what this lady from Tickety Damn Talk has to say.
Wanted her out of there because she was the main car leading the protest, is my understanding. I talked to another guy who was driving behind her, but she was very successful in blocking traffic. She was doing what she was set out to do, and so they wanted to get her the hell out of there. Yeah.
So it looked like she was impeding ICE vehicles.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay.
That was her goal. Wanted her
liberal white. Hold on. White woman, probably a liberal white woman. Are you talking about another liberal white girl? What? Let's hear it again.
Wanted her out of there because she was the main car leading the protest, is my understanding. I talked to another guy who was driving behind her, but she was very successful in blocking traffic. She was doing what she was set out to do, and so they wanted to get her the hell out of there. Yeah.
So it looked like she was impeding ICE vehicles.
Definitely, yeah. Okay. That was her goal.
Definitely, yeah, that was her goal. Oh, now they telling on each other. What in the world is going on around here? From your favorite news source of information, TikTok. Now all of a sudden y'all be like, information from TikTok. You motherfuckers be following each other and all that shit over there all the damn time. But when it don't go your way, then all of a sudden it's like, not TikTok. That's what you MFers love. That damn, that app that's supposed to be for kids that y'all freaking stole. But you know, you're not allowed to act like you heard any of that. They said the quiet part out loud, and I'm sure there's more. I just haven't gotten to it. But before we get back to JD, protests grow Is this Philly? No, it's WFAA. I thought it was Philly. But anyway, look at this mess. This is
Right
crazy.
now in Philadelphia,
Oh, it is
you
Philly.
can see the size of that crowd.
Crazy.
Thousands of people are
Crazy.
gathering right now for a
Fools.
peaceful protest. It is one of several across the country, all in response to a shooting by an ICE agent that killed a woman in Minneapolis. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has put the state National Guard on standby out of an abundance of caution. And all day, we have seen a memorial growing at the spot where that shooting happened. The woman's now been identified as a 37-year-old mother of 3, and we've learned Renee Good just moved to Minnesota last year. Her ex-husband says Good had just dropped off her 6-year-old son before the
Oh, we got more information. So is it 1 kid or 3 kids, child? Which one is it? And an ex-husband. So man didn't work out, so she decided to be a ABC deer. Shout out to those that have ever seen Mean Girls. I was about to say that. Let me not.
Her ex-husband says Good had just dropped off her 6-year-old son before the shooting happened. Tensions are rising this afternoon as protesters demand ICE agents leave the city. Armando Garcia is in Minneapolis with an update on the investigation and unrest.
Dozens of people circled around a memorial of flowers today at the scene of the tragic deadly shooting in Minneapolis Wednesday involving federal agents. The group praying for 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good. She was behind the wheel of this maroon Honda SUV. This disturbing video posted on X causing public outrage. Federal agents shouting demands as an ICE agent grabs the door. Good backs up, then drives forward. An immigration agent firing multiple rounds at the vehicle, killing Good.
We recognize that he acted according to his training. He acted appropriately to protect his life and the life of his colleagues and fellow law enforcement officers that were there and people that were surrounding.
According to a law enforcement official, the agent involved is a member of ICE's special response team, deployed for high-profile and tactical situations. The agent has 10 years of experience, according to a source.
That woman was there to interfere with a legitimate law enforcement operation. She was trying to ram this guy with her car. He shot back. He defended himself.
Clashes today between protesters and law enforcement outside a federal building. Many in the community demanding justice.
What we see on that camera is murder that is being justified by the highest office of this nation. We will not allow it.
Minnesota's Bureau of Criminal Apprehension today learning it would not be involved in the investigation, which would be led solely by the FBI.
It feels very, very difficult that we will get a fair outcome. And I say that only because people in positions of power have already passed judgment.
The White House saying today that the Department of Homeland Security will continue to operate on the ground in Minneapolis. Armando Garcia, ABC News, Minneapolis.
All right, Armando, thanks for that update, y'all. I don't know what news program that is, though. Come on, JD, let's go. Show them how a real man act.
You should be ashamed of yourselves. Every single one.
Tell
of
him.
Questions.
Tell him, Daddy. Tell him.
I wanted to read a quote from Tim Walz earlier today. He said, when things looked bleak, it was Minnesota's first that held the line for the nation on July 3rd, 1863. And I think we may be in that moment now. Can you comment on his rhetoric and Mayor David Frye and whether they want to see unrest in Minneapolis?
Well, it's very tough rhetoric from a guy who just quit because his fraudulent activities have been uncovered. Look, Tim Walz is a joke. His entire administration has been a joke. The idea that he's some sort of freedom fighter, he's not. He's a guy who has enabled fraud and maybe, in fact, has participated in fraud. That's what this new assistant position is going to find out. I don't care what Tim Walz says. I care about getting to the bottom of this fraud for the American people, and I care about enforcing the nation's immigration laws. That's what we're going to stay focused on.
Unrelated question here. I mean, Democrats have accused ICE of murder. They said they're targeting Americans. They told ICE to get the F out of Minnesota. This is going to stoke the fire against ICE agents. We're talking about ICE agents right now, being concerned about them. What, if anything, is the administration going to do to make sure these folks are protected during this protest? But also, should DHS sort of revisit their procedures here? I mean, nobody wants to see America killed. Are there changes that need to
Don't you love when people tell other people how to do their jobs? The job is the job. Why do you think that you can interfere with the way that someone is doing their job just because you're you? This is the same difference as pores, fake pores. When y'all be trying to tell the government how they're supposed to dole out your benefits and how much they're supposed to give to y'all, and they be telling y'all, you better do these damn 20 hours a week because your kids is old enough to go to damn school. Do something for the free shit that you want. Y'all don't even want to do that for the free shit that you're getting, because you would rather have free shit instead of going and working and taking care of your own damn families. but you hate the government, but you want from the government. I need all you bitch asses who got bitch ass shit to say to explain how and why that people who complain about the administration, the government, and they don't want no king, but they want the same king and the same administration to feed they asses, to give them freaking daycare, to give them well damn fare, to give them WIC and anything else that's free. Explain, because that kind of is very hypocritical. You don't want those people, but you want what those people have. And I'm a little bit confused. And then you turn around and try to tell them how to do it and what to do. All y'all do is complain. All y'all do is whine. All y'all do is think that you got control over something. Child, y'all ain't even got control of your own fucking lives. That's why you got people out here looking like fucking hippies that's still here from the fucking 50s and 60s who are still here now with the same hair and ain't took a bath since. That's who you be following? Does that make sense? I mean, obviously it makes sense to y'all. But child, if you look like you stink, I definitely can't be listening to anything that you have to say. Can't take you seriously. But this man right here, you go, boyfriend.
Be made to make sure something like this doesn't happen again.
But first of all, of course, nobody wants an American citizen to be killed. This is absolutely a tragedy, but it's a tragedy of the making of the far left. They have radicalized a very small segment of the population, taught them that ICE agents are engaging in wide-scale violation of people's rights. What our ICE officers are doing is deporting the millions of criminal aliens that were let in during the Biden administration. So number one, we have to say, as a matter of leadership, and I would appreciate if the Democrats would join me on this, let's be honest about the fact that we have way too many illegal aliens in this country. Our ICE officers should be supported in doing their job. You're trying to actually marshal the far left lunatic fringe to engage in doxing, to try to make it impossible for them to enforce the law, and in some cases actually to engage in acts of domestic terrorism against our law enforcement officers. When you talk about different plans, different protocols, different policies, I forget exactly how you asked the question. Here's the simple fact. What we're going to do is make it easier for the American people's administration to enforce the American people's law. And that means that Democrats have to stop rallying the mob against legitimate law enforcement operations. And that means that we are going to get tougher. And that's what this AAG position is about. We're going to get tougher at the people who are defrauding the United States by inciting violence against our law enforcement officers. That's one of the things that we're going to do. We've already started that work at the Department of Justice. We're going to keep on doing it. And this new AAG position is going to kick that into high gear.
Vice President Vance,
look at them creating jobs and shit. Oh Lord, I'm on my laptop, y'all, so I don't have two screens right now. Robert Whitlow, the explanation is poor upbringing, poor education, no work at a young age, and probably CCP funded. I don't know what CCP is. Fake news, brainwashing. So you're trying to say, excuse me. So you're trying to say that the people who don't want the government but want the people who want the government but don't want the government, the reason why is because they're poor and they have poor education. That's what we're saying right now. Are you serious, or are you just being facetious? I hope, because child, I don't think that's what it is. I think people just want to bring chaos and be chaotic just because they're mad that they're not as rich as the rich. Because these people today, right now, right here in 2026, we've been in a bad economy. We've been in a freaking recession, and they still haven't technically said the word recession. We're having a hard time with this damn economy, even though you can't tell by the way that people are spending and acting, because MFers with no money want to be out here looking like they have money because they are led by the internet and social media. They think that people give a fuck about what they have, what they look like, and what it seems and appears to be. They are brainwashed from that perspective for sure. And no one, or let me rephrase, they're not listening to people to let them know that you're not born and then you're rich. It doesn't work that way unless you're born to one of these rich ass families. So you better get out here and work. If that's not what you want to do, that's fine. But when you end up on the street, or you end up in NYCHA, or you end up down there with Brandon Johnson raising your damn taxes because you think you strong, independent, and don't need a man for the women, and then you out here having kids, and then you're like, I don't understand why everything's so high, because you're not meant to do it on your own. Then you listen to people again on social media and the internet that leads you to believe, and you follow right along, that men are bad and men are bad. That's not what we do over here. We appreciate men over here, and we understand that there are men and women, and that they are two different two different genders that have two different responsibilities. They're traditional. Women don't tell men what to do, and men take care of women where we come from. Okay. So that's a hard concept for people also led by feminism, because they want to act like they're better than men. And at the end of the day, those are the same people that was crying, whining, complaining, and damn near in tears to their freaking eyeballs. I'm sorry, to their toes, when they cut off them damn food stamps. But if you're so strong and independent, I don't understand what them food stamps got to do with anything. You got all the money, you make six figures, whatever six figure you want to choose, and you got it going on, and yet you still over here whining and complaining about your baby daddy and what he don't do for you. You knew he wasn't shit before you took all that pleasure. And now that the economy has changed, which has been changing, y'all don't want to stop spending. Y'all don't want to hear from anyone that lets you know how finances actually work, but y'all swear that you know. These young Generation Z's, child, they don't know nothing about budgeting, saving, a checkbook, credits and debits. They don't know nothing but spending. That's all they know. And then get mad at the people who are making money. You motherfuckers are helping those people make the money. Why would they bring their prices down? You too busy looking, pocket watching on them while you are contributing to them continuing to make money. Shout out to Jeff Bezos. Shout out to anybody that's in charge of wigs and weaves and lashes and makeup, trying to look like what is her name, child? One of them damn Kardashians, any of them, pick one. Shit. Everybody want to look like Kim Kardashian. So then you want to be like her, and then you're trying to be a hoe in order to come up like her or that other little girl that just got onto the OF and made all this money in one day. So now y'all trying to whore it up. Then you turn around saying that someone should accept your punk asses after you hoard it the fuck up. Or you out here spending money while you making $350,000 a month and you can't live off of that, but you want to blame everybody else? Child, please. These people don't want to listen. Do this shit to themselves and then be mad that somebody else is successful instead of going and taking social media and learning shit to help y'all's asses. And then you think somebody's supposed to then turn around and go along with this socialist, stupid ass agenda so that the shit that we have worked for, we should give it to y'all? Fuck y'all. No, you go work for your shit. We working for our shit and for our families. If you don't want to do it and you don't want to cut back, but then you turn around and saying that somebody should give you something? No, yeah, I'm going to give you my ass to kiss because nobody got time for your bullshit. Sit there and suffer. That's all I'm saying. Joshua, I appreciate you, boo. He said, preach, girl, preach. You making my heart flutter. I'm in love. Ha ha. Thank you so much, boo. I appreciate you. Welcome to the foolishness. Shout out to Chris Creative and Up Building. Thank you, boo. He said they do want a king. They just want the king to be a Democrat. Child, Joe Biden done spoiled y'all's asses, child. And we sat here on this here YouTube channel and watched those people come across from Mexico into the United States. Those people wasn't legal. We watched them. It was recorded live and in 4K. But now all of a sudden we just supposed to believe they're okay. Okay. So why don't y'all go sneak into some damn country and see how long they gonna let you be there? See how long they gonna let y'all chill the fuck out? See how long they just gonna be like, child, as long as you here, it's all right, because you here now. Child, please, y'all, come on now, get a fucking clue. This is half damn crazy.
It's suggested that this woman who was killed, Renee Good, is part of a broader left-wing network. Who do you think is behind this broader left-wing network?
Well, it's one of the things we're going to have to figure out. But here's the way that I put it. When somebody throws a brick at an ICE agent or somebody tries to run over an ICE agent, who paid for the brick? And who told protesters to show up and engage in violent activity against our law enforcement officers? You see, just with this most recent terrible incident in Minneapolis, you see friends of this woman's or other people who are eyewitnesses saying basically that she was there to engage in obstruction of a legitimate law enforcement operation. How did she get there? How did she learn about this? There's an entire network, and frankly, some of the media are participating in it, that is trying to incite violence against our law enforcement officers. It's ridiculous. It's preposterous. And part of our investigatory work is getting to the bottom of it. Who's funding it? Who's supporting it? Who's cheerleading it? And of course, if there's illegal activity related to that, we're going to get to the bottom of that and prosecute it where we can.
Vice President, thank you for taking questions today. Is there a risk with you describing her as a deranged leftist, talking about very specific facts of these events, when an investigation is just beginning? Are you preempting a thorough investigation by drawing such conclusions? And have you received any information beyond the videos we've seen publicly about this individual, her specific acts, that has informed your point of view?
Well, first of all, the Department of Justice is going to investigate this. The Department of Homeland Security is already investigating this. But the simple fact is, what you see is what you get in this case. You have a woman who is trying to obstruct a legitimate law enforcement operation. Nobody debates that. You have a woman who aimed her car at a law enforcement officer and pressed on the accelerator. Nobody debates that. I can believe that her death is a tragedy, while also recognizing that it's a tragedy of her own making and a tragedy of the far left who has marshaled an entire movement, a lunatic fringe, against our law enforcement officers. I think what is clearly happening here, and it's going to keep on happening unless the Democrats wake up and say, you know what, you don't have to agree with our immigration policies. You don't have to agree with what the president or the vice president believe about immigration enforcement, but why don't you take this to the ballot box? Why don't you vote? Why don't you organize? Instead, what some of them are doing is encouraging people to get violent with our law enforcement officials. It's disgraceful and it's got to stop.
JD definitely has had enough. He's definitely that uncle that's like, all right, y'all need y'all's asses slapped if y'all don't get it the fuck together. Child, it's clear and obvious, but deranged people don't only want to see what they want to see. And then we'll turn around as they cause the chaos and dissension, turn around talking about, look what they did. No, that's y'all. We just heard them on one of these damn broadcasts talking about go in pairs. Why are you telling people to go out? And why do y'all do so much at night, child? Shouldn't y'all be in bed? Don't y'all's kids have homework that need to be followed up on? Child, don't y'all got to cook dinner? Child, don't y'all got to get ready? Don't y'all got to wash some clothes? Don't y'all got some clothes to fold? Shout out to Nicole. Don't y'all got something to do? Y'all ain't got nothing to do but this? Child, I'm trying to go to sleep. I've been in the bed since 5:30, resting. Here y'all go. Out for the night. Y'all too old for this.
Just to follow up on that question, and again, thank you for taking questions, Mr. Vice President. There's clearly a lot of emotion in Minnesota, across the country, over this incident. You're calling Renee Good a deranged leftist. There's been heated rhetoric that we've also heard from officials. What responsibility do you and the president have to diffuse some of the tension that we are seeing play out in Minnesota, bring down the temperature as this investigation is unfolding?
What we have a responsibility to do is to protect the people who are enforcing the law and protect the country writ large. Whether you're Democrat or Republican, you deserve to have the people's laws enforced in the United States of America. Now, again, I'm not happy that this woman lost her life. I'm not happy that this woman was there at a protest violating the law by interfering with a law enforcement action. I think that we can all recognize that the best way to turn down the temperature is to tell people to take their concerns about immigration policy to the ballot box. Stop assaulting and stop inciting violence against our law enforcement officers. That's the best way to take down the temperature. And we're not going to give in to terrorism on this. And that's exactly what's happening. People trying to antagonize, to commit acts of violence. They throw bricks at them. Sometimes they shoot at them. Sometimes they dox them. Sometimes they go to their place of residence and harass their families. This is classic terrorism. And we cannot say that when a far left fringe is inciting violence against our brave law enforcement officials, that we're no longer going to enforce the law. That's rewarding the very people who are engaged in this garbage. The actual reward that they just got is a new assistant attorney general who is going to prosecute and investigate this stuff even more aggressively than before. Yeah.
Thanks for taking my question. So the head of Minnesota's investigations agency says that the U.S. Attorney's Office has essentially cut off the state investigations agency's access to the investigation. What is the precedent for that, and why shouldn't the Minnesota officials on the ground have access and evidence to work on this investigation?
First of all, I wish the state officials in Minnesota would investigate why you have so many people who are using their vehicles and other means to actually interfere with a legitimate law enforcement operation. The precedent here is very simple. You have a federal law enforcement official engaging in federal law enforcement action. That's a federal issue. That guy's protected by absolute immunity. He was doing his job. The idea that Tim Walz and a bunch of radicals in Minneapolis.
He is protected by immunity, y'all. But let's take a break from JD because I want him to calm down. Calm down, sir. Calm down. And let me show y'all about y'all's kids, child. Let me show y'all about y'all's kids. Not mine. Mine are grown. Praise the
All
Lord.
Right, kids are ended up in the hospital with burns all over their hands. Other places too. Why, you ask? Well, they're lighting themselves on fire for TikTok.
Child, y'all out here protesting. Your kids is out here lighting themselves on fire. Child, y'all out here protesting and your kids is lighting themselves on fire.
Doctors are now warning the consequences can be permanent and even deadly. Tia has more on this story. Tia?
Yeah, so we hope parents are watching. And if they're not watching, I hope they rewind this and see this later, right? This is an urgent warning to parents and also kids that are on social media.
Shout out to Big Tiff's baby daddy's wife, Tia. You go, girl.
What starts as a few seconds of flames For social media can go way beyond the hands. Doctors say teens are underestimating just how fast alcohol-based products ignite. For one South suburban mother, a TikTok challenge nearly cost her daughter her life.
Just in case you guys were wondering, here's how to safely set your hand on fire. And just put your hand in. And yeah, that's ow.
These are the same kids. These are the same kids. They clearly didn't do well, or a lot of them got them damned. A lot of them got them Tide Pods.
It's not working.
The videos are blowing up all over TikTok. Teens setting their hands on fire using hand sanitizer or rubbing alcohol, a lighter, and suddenly there are flames. It may look like fun and games, but doctors warn the consequences can be life-changing.
About 45 to 50% of her face, second-degree burn.
And her hands.
Her hands.
This mother from the south suburbs who doesn't want to show her face shared these photos of her daughter with us. Her face burned and her hands badly injured.
God.
The 13-year-old's hands were on fire. The flames then spread to the alcohol bottle, exploded in her face, and caught part of the home on fire too.
My mom called me and said that the kitchen cabinets were on fire and that my daughter had burned herself.
The single mom rushed her 13-year-old daughter here to UChicago Medicine Ingalls in Cal.
You know what I'm thinking about. The roof is on fire. We don't need no water. Let that motherfucker burn. Burn, motherfucker, burn. Dummies.
The single mom rushed her 13-year-old daughter here to UChicago Medicine Ingalls in Calumet City.
And they explained to me that they had to wipe the skin off of her face so they would be able to apply the cream and ointment to her face.
When you search online, dozens of similar stories appear. Teens seriously burned trying some of these challenges. Emergency room doctors say these injuries are becoming more common and more severe. Dr. Chris Colbert, former assistant program director at the University of Illinois, says the challenge could be fatal.
You can have a rush of flame, a spread of flame that is not intended, that can extend into the face, into the eyes.
For this mom,
my life has changed drastically since then.
She says time is ticking before someone else gets hurt, and she wants to warn other parents.
I want to warn parents, and I want them to sit down with their kids to let them know that they don't have to partake in everything they see on social media.
Doctors and fire officials urge parents to talk with their kids about the real dangers behind these viral challenges, especially those involving fire, chemicals, or even household products. Experts also recommend monitoring social media activity and reminding teens that online trends are often edited to hide injuries. If a burn does happen to you, make sure that you seek medical attention right away.
Thanks, Tia. But child, stupid is as stupid does. Shout out to Forrest Gump. Y'all out here worrying about protesting. Y'all need to be teaching your kids about flammable. Child, it's not funny. But it's funny because a TikTok challenge is enough. A quote-unquote TikTok challenge after all these years that your dumbass kids is going to go and follow. Y'all priorities is to get out here in the streets. All right, cool. Whatever y'all want, child. Come on, JD. Get back to it, boo.
Are going to go after and make this guy's life miserable because he was doing the job that he was asked to do is preposterous. The unprecedented thing is the idea that a local official can actually prosecute a federal official with absolute immunity. I've never seen anything like that. It would get tossed out by a judge. So what I'd like Minnesota to focus on is the real issue that they're encouraging people. Minneapolis officials are encouraging people to commit violence against ICE officials. It's ridiculous. It's got to stop. Go ahead.
Mr. President, thank you. You said earlier that there's a left-wing network to attack, to dox, to assault, and make it impossible for ICE officers to do their job. You told my colleague just now that there's an investigation going on into that network.
Yep.
So if everything that you say is true, how does being part of that network justify being shot?
Well, being part of the network doesn't justify being shot, but ramming an ICE officer with your car, that's what justifies being shot. It's not a good thing, by the way, but when you force somebody to engage in self-defense, it's almost a preposterous question. I'm not saying that funding some of this stuff justifies capital punishment. Nobody would suggest that. The reason this woman is dead is because she tried to ram somebody with her car and that guy acted in self-defense. That is why she lost her life. And that is the tragedy. Now, there may be other violations of the law and other penalties that are associated with those violations of the law. For example, if you are funding violence against our law enforcement officers, I'm not a prosecutor. My guess is that's not the sort of thing that earns capital punishment, but it should sure as hell earn you a few years in prison if you're funding the effort to try to assault our law enforcement officers. What is, I'm sorry, guys, what's going on here? You guys are meant to report the truth. How have you let yourself become agents of propaganda of a radical fringe that's making it harder for us to enforce our laws? You just asked me a question that presumed that the reason why this woman died is because she was engaged in legitimate protest. She tried to run somebody over with her car, and the guy defended himself when that happened. Next question. I said next question.
Oh, you heard what he said.
You watch the video yourself. There's not the slightest doubt in your mind, having viewed it, that the victim, you still believe that she deliberately tried to ram him despite seeing this video.
Look, I don't know what is in a person's heart or in a person's head, and obviously we're not going to get the chance to ask this woman what was going on. What I am certain of is that she violated the law.
Ask
what
her
I'm
now.
certain of is that officer had every reason to think that he was under very serious threat for injury or in fact, his life. What I'm certain of is that she accelerated in a way where she ran into the guy. I don't know what was in her heart and what was in her head, but I know that she violated the law, and I know that officer was acting in self-defense. It raises an interesting point, though. Look, if people want to say that we should have a legitimate debate about, what was she really doing, right? Was she panicking when she drove into this officer, or was she actually trying to ram him? That's a reasonable conversation. What's not reasonable is for so many of you to plaster all over the media that this was an innocent woman and that the ICE agent committed murder, which is what many of you have said explicitly and some of you have said implicitly.
Explicitly and implicitly. You tell them, boo. They full of shit. They trying to make shit hard for everybody. We not having it. Hold on. Let's retake a gander at this for those that missed it, child.
Wanted her out of there because she was the main car leading the protest, is my understanding. I talked to another guy who was driving behind her, but she was very successful in blocking traffic. She was doing what she was set out to do, and so they wanted to get her the hell out of there. Yeah.
So it looked like she was impeding ICE vehicles.
Definitely, yeah. Okay. That was her goal.
Where did do that at? Oh yeah, Michigan or Minnesota. My bad. Let's get it right.
Her out of there because she was the main car leading the protest, is my understanding. I talked to another guy who was driving behind her, but she was very successful in blocking traffic. She was doing what she was set out to do, and so they wanted to get her the hell out of there.
You know what? Whoever said that they think that she almost said paid, I think you're right. I think she did almost say what she was paid to do. I agree with whoever said that.
Wanted her out of there because she was the main car leading the protest, is my understanding.
She was the main car leading the protest.
Wanted her out of there because she was the main car leading the protest, is my understanding. I talked to another guy who was driving behind her, but she was very successful in blocking traffic. She was doing what she was set out to do, and so they wanted to get her the hell out of there. Yeah.
So it looked like she was impeding ICE vehicles.
Definitely, yeah. That was her goal.
I tell you, I don't know why Uncle JD is upset, even though I know he's younger than me. Don't come for me, all right? Come on, child, continue on.
That's what I have an objection to. The idea that this was not justified is absurd, and I think everybody knows it in their heart. Yeah. In the green jacket.
Taking down the temperature, it seems like political violence is ratcheting up and riots could be around the corner. What steps does the administration have planned to try to unite America? Average people on both political sides are so tired of fighting with each other, and I think all the journalists in this room could agree with me that we don't want to be part of the problem. Do you have any words to unite America?
I know you don't want to be part of the problem, and I think that's true of a lot of you. I'm not sure it's true for everybody, because the reporting over this has been one of the biggest scandals I've ever seen in media. I've never seen a case so misrepresented and misreported when you have a guy who was defending himself and is now being treated as some sort of federal assassin by so many of the people in this room. First of all, let me say about crime. You mentioned violence. One of the things we're proudest about is that you saw violent crime over the last year drop by 20%. Why is that drop by 20%? Is it because we're attacking our law enforcement officers, or is it because we in the administration are empowering our law enforcement officers to enforce the law? I think that's one of the ways you take down the temperature, is you make people feel more secure and safe in their person and property. That's why we care so much about protecting our law enforcement, because it accrues to the benefit of the entire national community. I think that we can absolutely talk about the ways in which we can lower the temperature by discussing differences in a reasonable and rational way. Again, I'm happy to talk with any congressional Democrat or any of you about our immigration policy, about why I think it's necessary, about why I think it's in the best interest of the country, about why the President of the United States was elected to actually enforce the border for the first time in at least 4 years. So here's the problem. That's not the debate so many people are having. They are actively covering for people who are committing acts of violence against federal law enforcement. It is preposterous. The way to take down the temperature is to stop it. Have your debates about policy. Attack me. Attack the President of the United States. Don't attack our law enforcement officers. They are trying to do the job the American people demanded that they do. That they are not policy actors. They are enforcing the law. They should be treated with a modicum of dignity and respect. And the fact that they're not is why incidents like yesterday happened. The one final point I'll make about this is, look, there's a part of me that feels very, very sad for this woman, not just because she lost her life, but because I think she is a victim of left-wing ideology. What young mother shows up and decides they're going to throw their car in front of ICE officers who are
MSG, JD.
You've got to be a little brainwashed to get to that point to where you're willing, not just to protest, that's fine, not peacefully protest, but throw your vehicle in front of legitimate law enforcement officers and drive your car into them. To get to that point, you have to be, I think, radicalized in a very, very sad way. I certainly wish that she hadn't got there. I know there's an ICE officer right now who very much wishes he was not put in the position where he had to fire a gun to defend his own life. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. What's your message, following up on that, what's your message to the leaders in Minnesota, the governor of Minnesota, the mayor of Minnesota?
Didn't he already say that?
To calm down the situation on the ground, on the streets. What's your message also to those protesters who saw that video in a completely different way than you saw that video?
Well, first of all, I think if you watch every angle of that video, there's one angle where if you squint, you can maybe tell yourself that it's not clear what happened. But when you look at all angles of that video, it is very clear that her vehicle went right for the guy. She actually collided with him. And then that's, of course, when he fired his shots. That's obvious, okay? So what I'd say to the protesters is, by all means, protest peacefully, but make this about ideas. Make this about disagreement with our policy. Don't use your protest as a justification or an encouragement for people to go and incite violence and participate in violence against our law enforcement officials. To the people on the ground in Minneapolis, meaning the local officials in Minneapolis, from Tim Walz on down, I'd say, look, why can't you just disagree with a given piece of immigration policy without turning law enforcement into the enemy? And think about, for example, a criminal law where a police officer goes and arrests somebody because they violated a criminal law. If you're mad about that, go and protest the politician who passed that law. Don't attack the police officer who's just doing their job. We had a wide open border under Joe Biden. I happen to think it's a good thing the President of the United States has closed it down. If you think that's a bad idea, criticize this administration for a policy decision. Don't attack our people for enforcing the law, because I guarantee you go to ICE, there are black people and white people, there are Democrats and Republicans, there are patriotic Americans who are trying to enforce the law. Attack me, lay off of our ICE agents.
Now that's the second time he didn't said that. Come for me, come for Trump. Leave the damn people doing their job, the ICE agents, alone. But you know, people want to call them the Gestapo. I think I missed your super chat, Gerard. I apologize. He said nothing to do, Auntie. Yeah, I was resting. I was resting comfortably, and then I saw that two people been shot by ICE agents, but they allegedly Trente de Aragua, however you say it, according to TMZ. But they still out here ready to protest for them too, child. You cannot make this shit up. You just cannot make this shit up. But thank you so much. Everyone, hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you're new. He's almost over. Then we're going to move over to this other video I seen today. I just found it.
Yeah, in the blue, all the way, yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Vice President. You called on Tim Walz to resign. Can you lay out the case as to why he should step down?
Well, look, I think Tim Walz should resign because it's very clear either that he knew about the fraud in Minneapolis, he knew about the welfare fraud, or at the very least, he looked the other way. I mean, this is not like Lex Luthor, right? This is not movie villain fraud. This is the lowest IQ possible fraud. This is, we're going to take the absence of kids and set up a daycare center where there are no children, and we're going to call our early childhood education center the Quality Learning Center. By the way, if you can't spell learning, maybe you shouldn't be in early childhood education.
Maybe
people
not.
got rich off of this. We know that there were schools who either had no enrollment or at least they overstated their enrollment. Tim Walz, either it was unbelievable incompetence or he was in on the fraud. That's one of the things we're going to get to the bottom.
You're definitely incompetent. Poors, Minnesotan poors. Yeah, you're getting effed over again. And I be trying to tell ya. Shout out to Rolly Roll. I be trying to tell ya, and you don't want to listen. So now they got you out there fighting. They got you out there let me rephrase. They got you out there protesting, and you think that's the best use of y'all's time. So you want to fight for the people that's taking shit away from you, allegedly. Because in the beginning, they was getting everything. Now that the money is dry, they got to figure out a way to pay it back. And y'all get to pay it back, not poors necessarily. But that's why another reason why them taxes are so high out there in shit damn Chicago. And how they gonna be doing the same thing in New Damn York, messing around with Ma'am Danby, child. But y'all keep going. Keep fighting for people that wouldn't fight for you. Ever, never, no way.
Sir.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Can you explain the difference between this Associate Attorney General and a special counsel? And do you envision this being a permanent position or having more of a limited scope?
Well, it's going to be permanent until we get to the bottom of what's going on. So I think it's going to last for at least the remainder of the administration. What's different about it from a special counsel is if you remember the Jack Smith case where the special counsel was found unconstitutional, one of the big issues there is that that person was not an appointed person. Completely aside from all the other issues that the person was a lunatic and that the case had no merit, there was a fundamental constitutional issue, which is that he had not been appointed by the president and he had not been confirmed by the United States Senate. An assistant attorney general, what that's going to allow us to do is appoint this person, have them confirmed by the Senate. That's one difference. The more substantive difference is that this person is going to be part of a very broad interagency White House that's being led from the president of the United States on down. And that's going to give them the resources, the access to material and information to make this person more effective. I think a lot of people have asked, how are you really going to get to the heart of the fraud? We've been asking ourselves that question for the past couple of months, and we think this is the critical piece at the Department of Justice to really ramp this fraud investigation into high gear. In the red tie, yeah.
Vice President Vance, I wanted to ask, what's your message to far leftist agitators who feel emboldened to obstruct ICE activity in Minnesota and around the country?
Well, I think they shouldn't feel emboldened because now they have an assistant attorney general who is going to prosecute and investigate their fraud and their violence more aggressively than it has ever been investigated in the United States of America. We are doing so much to try to find the financing networks and the domestic terrorism networks that legitimate this violence, that fund this violence, and that, of course, engage in the violence. These people should not feel emboldened because they have, for the first time, maybe in American history, an administration that is not going to tolerate political violence of any kind from anywhere. Yeah.
You not clear today that the entire weight of the federal government behind these ICE agents and this ICE agent in particular, there is still a federal investigation happening on the ground. Does that mean that they are not looking into this ICE agent at all? They are just focused on the woman who's in the car? What is the investigation if the federal government has already determined that its weight is behind this ICE investigation?
So what do you mean when you say investigation? Do you mean investigation of the shooting yesterday or of the fraud that's happening in Minneapolis?
Yesterday.
Okay, look, DHS, as I understand it, has an investigation already ongoing. I know that other organs of our government are looking at this. So yes, there's certainly an investigation that's happening right now. But as part of the broader fraud investigation, a lot of what we're doing with the Department of Justice has already started. We've got over 1,500 subpoenas. We've got people this morning, actually. We're going door to door to actually knock on some of these fraudulent care centers, these fraudulent social services organizations to get to the bottom of what's going on there. So the investigation in some ways has already been ramping up into the anti-fraud element for at least a few weeks. What we're trying to do is supercharge it and make sure there's a designated person within the Department of Justice who completely controls that particular focus.
Just to follow up on that, Mr. Vice President, on the agent.
JD said, I'm here for it, child. But let me go over here before he's done because they have named the officer. So the ICE officer involved in the shooting has been identified. Lord, help your people.
From federal officials, the ICE agent who shot and killed 37-year-old Renee Good is Jonathan Ross.
Investigative reporter Kirsten Swanson has new details about Ross and a look at his history here in the Twin Cities. A law enforcement source tells ABC News that Jonathan Ross, the ICE agent seen here, is based in Minneapolis. Homeland Security officials confirmed to us he has 10 years of experience as an ICE deportation officer and is a member of the Special Response Team. Now, that is a highly trained tactical unit that's dispatched in high-profile situations. Hours after the shooting, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem told reporters this was the same agent who was injured in June when he was rammed by a car and dragged. And today, while answering questions at the White House, Vice President J.D. Vance added even more detail to that story. Listen.
That very ICE officer nearly had his life ended, dragged by a car 6 months ago, 33 stitches in his leg. So you think maybe he's a little bit sensitive about somebody ramming him with an automobile?
Using JD, now you know daggone well you can't talk about the oppressor having any issues. They're supposed to know everything about everybody at all times and make all the right decisions according to the people attacking them, and supposed to know everything about them before they make any move. Or they're just supposed to allow them to do whatever they want, and then they'll allegedly celebrate, God forbid, if something should happen to them. They'll celebrate in the streets, and that will be okay. But if somebody else is saying something about this situation, which I'm not condoning violence, I don't condone violence. But if anybody says anything about this situation, then they're heartless. They don't care about the American people. All this dumb shit that y'all been writing in the comments, child. It's okay for you to do it, but not for someone else. Did we not learn anything from the Charlie Kirk situation? Clearly not.
That information, our team found court documents that describe that encounter. It happened in Bloomington back on June 17th. According to federal charges, Roberto Carlo Monzuno, Guatemala, fled from ICE agents when they attempted an immigration arrest. Now, during that stop, Ross ordered him out of the car. When Munoz, Guatemala didn't comply, Ross broke the car's rear driver's side window that you see here and reached in to unlock the driver door. At that point, Munoz, Guatemala drove off, dragging the agent approximately 100 yards down the street, according to court documents. The charging documents include photos of Ross's injuries, a cut to his right arm and a gash on his left hand. Both required stitches. Last month, the jury convicted Munoz, Guatemala of
I'd have quit that day.
Assault of a federal officer with a dangerous and deadly weapon. Court records show Ross was the prosecution's first witness who testified in that trial. Now, our team asked the Department of Homeland Security twice yesterday to confirm the June incident that they are describing. We've also asked federal officials to confirm Agent Ross's identity and tell us if he's been involved in any other use of force incidents. This afternoon, we received a statement from DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin that said, in part, quote, "We are not going to expose the name of this officer. He acted according to his training," end quote.
That was Kirsten Swanson reporting.
All right, girl. Thanks. All right, back to JD. Now you know what the damn name of the dude is. Child, I don't even remember what it is. I'll remember tomorrow.
Is he still on duty, or has he been placed on leave, on administrative leave? And what really was the target of the operation on Wednesday? The ICE operation on Wednesday?
Well, first of all, it was a legitimate law enforcement operation. We were going door to door to try to find criminal illegal aliens and deport them from the United States of America, because if you come to our country illegally in violation of our immigration laws, then we have the mandate, and in fact, we have the legal duty to enforce those immigration laws. Whether he's been placed on administrative leave, I don't know the answer to that question. I'd refer it to the Department of Homeland Security, and they could follow up. I will say, look, I would appreciate everybody saying a prayer for that agent. Look, in the past 6 months, he has been hit twice by a motor vehicle. One time, the first time, it led to over 30 stitches and very serious injuries to his legs. This is a guy who's actually done a very, very important job for the United States of America. He's been assaulted, he's been attacked, he's been injured because of it. He deserves a debt of gratitude. And I think the media prejudging and talking about this guy as if he's a murderer is one of the most disgraceful things I've ever seen from the American media. Yeah.
Vice President, what is your specific role in the future of Venezuela? And I'm wondering, could you confirm reports that the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, was kept out of the planning for the operations because of her past concerns about military involvement in Venezuela?
So I've heard a couple of things. One, that I was kept out of the planning for the Venezuela operation. That's false. And another, that Tulsi was kept out of the planning for Venezuela operations. That's completely false. Look, we're all part of the same team. And one of the things that is really amazing about that operation is that we kept it very tight to the senior cabinet level officials and related officials in our government. And we kept this operation secret for a very long time. I'm very proud of that. I think it suggests that the team works very well together. Well, looking ahead, what is my role? Look, my role is going to be whatever the president asks me to do. Well, every other day, I'm chairing the meeting that we do on this among White House principals to talk about next steps to try to ensure that Venezuela is stable. And as the president has directed us to do, to ensure that the new Venezuelan government actually listens to the United States and does what the United States needs it to do under our country's best interest. So I'm going to be as involved as the president wants me to be. So far, that's been very involved. And I'll keep on doing that so long as the president asks me to do it.
It sounds like he's going to follow his boss's orders, which some of y'all need to learn that too. Do what the person that pays you says to do, so that you don't so you don't lose the job, instead of thinking you're going to tell somebody what to do when you have no leverage at all. Just a tip. Pause.
The purple.
Even beyond the war powers.
Sorry, we'll go purple and then we'll go pink, whatever that is in front.
Royal purple, and then beige. All right. Okay. Are there any indications, you talked about the network, are there any indications that the lady who was shot, I know there are different reports.
All right, they're getting on my nerves. I need a break. So let's go over here to it looks like in Minneapolis, they're making makeshift barriers in Minneapolis neighborhoods amid the ICE enforcement crackdown, Cha.
Members are not only protesting, they're also looking out for their neighbors. Our Jason Rantle is live in Minneapolis with a look at how they're stepping up. Jason?
Frank, there's a protest planned right here at Lake in Chicago. That's in just over an hour from now. But on Saturday, there's also a protest planned by MIRAC, the Minnesota Immigrants' Rights Action Committee. That's at Powderhorn Park. They had a message today for ICE to get out of our cities. They held a press conference today outlining their plans for that protest, as well as saying their efforts.
Hold on.
Our cities. They held a press conference today.
Here we go again. Ain't that from the latest GTA, one of the latest GTAs? Here we go again, child. This band of people is who y'all listening. This band of people is who y'all be listening to and taking direction from. Oh no.
Outlining their plans for that protest, as well as saying their efforts won't stop until ICE leaves. They say the Trump administration doesn't want the public to believe what's clearly recorded on video. We heard from Council Member Jason Chavez. He spoke about the work being done by community members. They're patrolling neighborhoods, spreading the word about spotted immigration enforcement. They're also driving people to and from work and not sleeping for hours just to make sure their loved ones stay together.
We need that ICE agent and those ICE agents that were complicit in the act to be immediately arrested. That's right. We need these ICE agents immediately fired. That's right.
So let me just ask you a quick question. Do you see the difference between this man speaking and JD Vance speaking? I don't have an answer for that. Siri, if I wanted you, you wouldn't answer me. Shut the hell up. Does anyone see the difference between this man speaking and JD Vance speaking? Okay. Well, I see the difference, but maybe it's just me, champ. Maybe it's just me. And this is who y'all listening to. Look at these. This is a joke. This has to be a joke. We are living in the Truman Show. I'm telling you. Someone is pulling strings like Pinocchio or something. This is half damn crazy. And no, I'm not even going to say it. Go ahead, y'all.
And they need to be held accountable for their atrocities.
Yeah.
And we will take nothing less than that.
Oh, well, take nothing less than that. Let's hear it again. And we'll take nothing less than that. Well, when you say it like that, I'm going to get to moving.
We need that ICE agent and those ICE agents that were complicit in the act to be immediately arrested. That's right. We need these ICE agents immediately fired. That's right. And they need to be held accountable for their atrocities. And we will take nothing less than that.
And Mirak wouldn't say a whole lot about that event, the protest on Saturday, other than it begins at 1 at Powderhorn Park. Again, this protest here on Lake Street begins in just over an hour, Frank.
They're going to be at Powderhorn Park. The jokes write themselves. I can only be silly right now, y'all.
Okay, we'll, of course, update that as well. Jason, thanks. Hundreds of people packed the street where an ICE agent shot and killed Renee Good yesterday morning. Connor White is there right now. Connor, what's the scene? I know there were hundreds, if not thousands, last night.
Frank, a lot of those people either chose to stay overnight or they returned at some point during the day today. Those barriers that we saw starting to go up last night have only gotten stronger with a lot of makeshift materials. We've seen pine trees, planks of wood, wood pallets, couches. That's a vehicle as well. There are several barriers all around here.
Oh my God, Lord in heaven, please come down and help these people. I'm really concerned. People have lost their minds, Lord. What is going on? I'm so confused. Lord, help your people. Surround yourself around our family, because these people are out here living amongst us. So y'all gonna go and bring your property value down in the name of what? So y'all gonna go and bring your property value down in the name of what? Timmy, you really think people coming over here to retire? Timmy, you really think that people are coming here, Minnesota, to retire? That's what, child. I was thinking about coming to visit, and I'm not. Like, seriously, I was actually thinking about going there. Y'all got that. Anton, you got that. Shirley, you got that. I ain't gonna have time. These people crazy. Child, these people are crazy. Look at this shit. You're ruining the neighborhood because why now?
Completely preventing vehicle traffic from coming through as people continue to mourn and express their anger here. Wednesday morning, a bystander films as an ICE agent shoots and kills Renee Good in her vehicle. More than 24 hours later, the street is still filled with mourners. A vigil grows as people strengthen barricades blocking off traffic between 33rd and 34th Streets on Portland Avenue. Melody Cordes Eklund lives in the neighborhood.
I think that this has been a very safe response, especially considering the gravity of what happened.
Child, and then what you think this is? Liberal white woman. Another one. Shout out to DJ Khaled.
That this has been a very safe response, especially considering the gravity of what happened.
As hundreds passed through to protest and observe, these folks remained overnight in a makeshift tent.
Yeah, we could be sleeping in a cozy bed, but you know who's not sleeping in a cozy bed? Renee. Renee Good.
Hold on. What the fuck? Wasn't somebody just complaining about somebody wearing a mask and now they out here with a decorated mask with camouflage hanging in the background, couches in the middle of the road, in the midst of all this snow, drinking a ginseng tea? Child, what is going on? What? Yeah. Yeah. My head hurts. Now I'm gonna need a drink.
Cozy bed. Renee. Renee Good.
Well, Renee should have been home with her kid. Renee chose to go out there. So y'all gonna bring property values down for Renee? Now, how's that gonna help anybody?
Protest and observe, these folks remained overnight in a makeshift tent.
Yeah, we could be sleeping in a cozy bed, but you know who's not sleeping in a cozy bed? Renee. Renee Good.
Now, some of the protesters here say that they have spoken to people along this block to acknowledge that this could be inconvenient for people who live here, but they say it's important that they remain and continue to honor Renee Good. Beyond these barriers, we're also beginning to see some other equipment being set up that we'll show you a little later on at 5 o'clock that indicates that people are here for the long haul, Frank. Now, Minneapolis police and other law enforcement, we haven't seen them show up today, but the city is certainly aware of this as we did see a city DPW crew come by to check out the ice on the sidewalks.
Okay, we'll check in with you later, Connor. Thanks.
Now, when the HOA come through and charge them a damn fee if they have one, we don't want to hear it. When the taxes go up, we don't want to hear it. JD, finish this off.
From there, her wife said they were new to the area. Are there any indications she may have been a paid agitator, and maybe that there are others that were brought to the area, considering everything that's going on in Minneapolis?
I wouldn't say that she was paid. I don't have the evidence to say that one way or the other. What I do know is that she was violating the law. And if you just look at the eyewitness accounts, they were saying she was there to prevent the enforcement of the law. She was trying to obstruct a legitimate law enforcement operation. That much is obviously clear. The rest of it, of course, is part of the reason why we investigate this stuff. Yeah.
Mr. President, even beyond the War Powers resolution today, Congress has bucked President Trump on issues like tariffs. Are you concerned that President Trump is losing his grip on Republicans in the Congress, and what are you going to do about it?
No, I'm not concerned at all. First of all, we talked to some of the senators who are going to vote the wrong way, in my view, on this resolution today. Much of their argument was based more on a legal technicality than any disagreement in policy. If you look at the people who actually voted, every single one of them have supported the administration's plan. Second of all, as the president, I believe himself has already said, every president, Democrat or Republican, believes the War Powers Act is fundamentally a fake and unconstitutional law. It's not going to change anything about how we conduct foreign policy over the next couple of weeks, the next couple of months, and that'll continue to be how we approach things. Go ahead.
President. So we are seeing, regarding Iran, we're seeing the protests in Iran these days. The cities are begging for help from the U.S. and Israel, naming streets in the city after President Trump. It seems there is an opportunity here that may not come again. Will the United States stand by the citizens of Iran? And if Israel decides to strike again the nuclear sites in Iran, is the U.S. expected to take part?
Well, look, we certainly stand by anybody who's engaged in peaceful protests, anybody who's trying to exert their rights for free association and to have their voices heard. Obviously, the Iranian regime has a lot of problems. And as the President of the United States has said, the smartest thing for them to have done, it was true 2 months ago, it's true today, is for them to actually have a real negotiation with the United States about what we need to see when it comes to their nuclear program. I'll let the president speak to what we're going to do in the future, but we certainly stand with anybody across the world, including the Iranian people who are advocating for their rights. I'll take just a couple more questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, Vice President. Concerning Venezuela, how would you assure the Caribbean region that they will remain a zone of...
All right, I don't want to hear about Venezuela, but thank you, sir. It's nice to see a man be a man in front of the world, even though I know people that's out there barricading the damn outside with fucking couches. They don't understand none of that. They understand that man that they got down there. All right. And that's the difference between us. Anyway, let me bring y'all over here to Brandon Jamal, because I'm sure he has a great take on this. His title is You Live, You Lear. Shout out to Alanis Morissette. She, Renee Good, a paid ICE protester.
I'm going to make this brief. Her name was Renee Good. She was from Colorado, not Minnesota. She had traveled there.
Oh, you know what? My bad. Let me acknowledge Romello. I appreciate you, boo. He said, messy, couches as barricades. Is Minneapolis a third world city? They about to be. I would be hot as hell if I had a house in that damn area. Y'all about to bring property values down because y'all don't know how to think for your damn selves. You out there doing shit based off of people who don't give a shit about you at the end of the damn day.
I believe as a paid protester. She left behind her children and her lesbian partner to be a paid protester against ICE. What happened that day was she had been following ICE agents all around, right? And she was the lead with her car, harassing them. Now, what happened was, I guess there was a problem with the ICE agents. I don't know that, their car was kind of stuck. And so she used that as an opportunity to block the street. They told her to get the heck out of Dodge. It's kind of fuzzy, but there was one angle where you could very clearly see the two agents, and she kind of grazed one of them with her car. But there was another angle where there was a third agent in front of her where she pulled out. And that was the guy who her.
I just want to say, for the record and on the record, that any of you people who are calling us distasteful for calling Renee Good dumb because she got gunned down by that ICE agent because she almost hit that man with her car after refusing a lawful order, need I remind y'all that y'all laughed at Charlie Kirk for 40 days and 40 nights.
Don't be taking
Renee
my terms, Brandon.
Stupid. Charlie was holding an event. Renee was an idiot who should have went home to her family. Charlie was with his family. Renee was attempting vehicular manslaughter. Charlie gave a microphone to anybody who disagreed with him.
I'll take some questions, but I want to make just one final observation here. When I was actually walking out here, somebody sent me a photo of a CNN headline about what happened in Minneapolis. And this is the headline. I'm just going to read it. Outrage after ICE officer kills U.S. citizen in Minneapolis. Well, that's one way to put it, and that is the way that many people in the corporate media have put this attack over the last 24 hours. And I say attack very, very intentionally, because this was an attack on federal law enforcement. This was an attack on law and order. This was an attack on the American people. The way that the media, by and large, has reported this story has been an absolute disgrace, and it puts our law enforcement officers at risk every single day. What that headline leaves out is the fact that that very ICE officer nearly had his life ended, dragged by a car 6 months ago, 33 stitches in his leg. So you think maybe he's a little bit sensitive about somebody ramming him with an automobile? What that headline leaves out is that that woman was there to interfere with a legitimate law enforcement operation in the United States of America. What that headline leaves out is that that woman is part of a broader left-wing network to attack, to dox, to assault, and to make it impossible for our ICE officers to do their job. If the media wants to tell the truth, they ought to tell the truth that a group of left-wing radicals have been working tirelessly, sometimes using domestic terror techniques to try to make it impossible for the president of the United States to do what the American people elected him to do, which is enforce our immigration laws. The president stands with ICE. I stand with ICE. We stand with all of our law enforcement officers. And part of that is recognizing that you people in the media, not everybody in this room, but many people in this room have been lying about this attack. She was trying to ram this guy with her car. He shot back. He defended himself. He's already been seriously wounded in law enforcement operations before. And everybody who's been repeating the lie that this is some innocent woman who was out for a drive in Minneapolis when a law enforcement officer shot at her, you should be ashamed of yourselves. Every single one of you. Questions?
Well, let me also say real quick, y'all, that when I'm assuming that most of y'all have ever been in a car accident before. So when you get hit, especially if it's from behind, you might not feel like there's something wrong with you, but you might feel like there's something wrong with you later, right? So you're going to make sure that the person that hit you gets blamed, right? So I just be a little bit confused why some people try to act like this person, whether she intentionally was going for that man or not, because that I don't know. Does it matter whether she was intentionally trying to hit him or not? She hit him. It was coming towards him. And if somebody was coming towards you with a car, what you gonna do? Just stand there and roll over? I mean, we gotta think for a bit. So he did hobble away, but that don't mean that he didn't feel something later. We've all been in a car accident before, for the most part. And when you wake up the next day or maybe 2 days later, that's when you feel what the hell really happened to your ass. But no one wants to think about that because people can't seem to put themselves in anyone else's situation because they're so freaking incensed and emotional because they think something happened and won't take the time to look at everything. We look at CNN, we look at Fox, we look at News Nation, We look at all the other small town stations to find out what the hell is actually going on, unlike people who can only listen to the fucking View and can't even be grown adults and listen to an opposing view so that you can formulate a fair fucking opinion. That's what's wrong with most of y'all. We also read shit around here because we know GD well, you MFers don't read. If it don't apply, let that shit fly, okay? So y'all can keep on this. Everything is a fucking distraction. If you can't walk and chew gum at the same time, that's a you fucking problem. That's probably what pores. There must be some pores in the chat, child, because a lot of y'all sounding like you poor, and you looking at the rich people mad because you're poor. Child, just get out there and get it done. There's ways to get it done, but sitting up here pocket watching, you can't do that. You can't do that, okay? It's not going to work out for you. I'm not giving up shit. I'm giving it to my kids. Y'all should be working on doing the same thing. What you going to do? Pass your kids food stamps? What y'all going to do? Pass your kids the fucking Section 8? Even though I heard you could do that. Is that what y'all passing on the GoFundMe? Child, I'm going to need y'all to do pores, fake pores. I be trying to tell y'all. Don't say nobody tried to tell y'all, because I be here trying to tell y'all. I'm gonna need y'all to think and stop listening to people just because they say so, or just because your favorite rapper says so, or your favorite singer says so, or your favorite bum-ass Z-list reality star says so, or some people who you've never spoken to before in life say so. I'm gonna need y'all to do better. All right? That shit don't make no sense. It should stay off a tickety damn talk. There's a bunch of motherfuckers that say that they are something and they ain't, and y'all be listening to them. Hook, line, and sinker. Child, y'all need to go talk to your kids, child. They setting themselves on fire. Pores, fake pores. I'm gonna need y'all to talk to your kids, okay? Get your kids. Get your kids. For you be on TV like that last lady, child.
If I got my strap out and you attempt to hit me with your car, God be with you. Once you initiate some shit, you don't get to dictate how much force somebody uses when they defend themselves, especially if they law enforcement. What is wrong with you, lady? You should have never been out there. But enough of the common sense. Let's kill some brain cells listening to the liberal outrage.
What the fuck's gonna be? If you forget, we cannot have that happen again because we have absolutely nothing to lose at this point.
No, remember that they have absolutely nothing to lose at this point. Y'all go. Y'all better go.
But I'm ready to burn out, and I'm ready to. People united,
yeah. Hey.
We have nothing left to lose now. Do you hear yourself? You're probably an American citizen. That's probably exactly what Renee thought when she parked her car diagonally in the middle of the street. At this point, it's just natural selection. I appreciate all of you people being so loud and wrong. I'm very grateful to live in 2026. I say it all the time. It's just like dating is easier than people think it is because people aren't ashamed of their crap anymore. All you got to do is listen to them talk. It's easy to pick your friends, your coworkers, your people you want to hang out with. All you got to do is listen to them talk. And I can't get down with nobody whose feelings can't change.
I think Brendan Jamal is listening to us, y'all. I feel like he's sounding just like us over here. Brendan, if you listening, boo, it's all good in the hood. Just let me know, because I just like to know, child. Shout out to Brendan Jamal.
Because of facts. I also can't get down with nobody who thinks ubiquitous nonsense and pronouns belongs in elementary schools and middle schools. It barely belongs in high schools. What are we even talking about here? But let's get to the elementary schools and the middle schools. Why are we teaching the children about ubiquitous stuff? We know this is about sexuality. Why are we teaching children about ubiquitous stuff? Why is it all in the cartoons and shit? We getting off topic.
So ICE just innocent civilian bystander today.
That's where we're at in this country. If you don't like where we're at in this country, I invite.
Gargoyle alert. This is who y'all are listening to. Gargoyle alert. You cannot make it up. You cannot make this shit up. This is who y'all be listening to. Because I know y'all here. This is who y'all allowing to lead y'all's asses. Woo! There's probably an alleged Gen Z or two.
Invite you to bed rot with me. On January 20th, we are going to just not do any of our responsibilities at all and see how this country fares. Because if you're a woman, you know how much we actually run. And I'm sick and tired of propping up a fascist regime that has no problem me. And they better count their blessings. We're just bed rotting for a day. Because the Second Amendment exists for this reason. And if protests and boycotts aren't working, that's the only option left. You have no excuse to not take a single day off. You can do it. Nothing's more important right now. So please spread this around.
Yeah. Listen to this liberal white woman with a ring through her nose that looks like she's not even sure which gender she might want to be. And don't go to work. Possibly get yourself arrested. Possibly get yourself taken on up out of here in the name of what again? Oh, MFers who wouldn't lift a finger to help you. I ain't seen not near one of them come out and support any of y'all. Now I know y'all gonna say, oh, that's because ICE is gonna. Y'all ready for ICE because y'all fighting for them. Y'all ready for ICE. So they should feel comfortable coming out and supporting just like y'all are doing. Y'all supporting them. Y'all fighting for them. Y'all dying for them. You won't do it for your own country, but you do it for them. Okay. Whatever y'all think is, keep that shit over there. Keep that shit over there. All right. Because there's, first the fuck of all, y'all listening to people that ain't even been on this earth for barely a quarter of a fucking century. That's the first fucking problem. The second fucking problem is the fact that you're listening to people that have rings through their noses. Gargoyles. You're listening, you're being led by people that have rings through their noses. Then you're listening to people who you can't even tell which gender they are for the most part. Confused as fuck with regard to everything. Different colored hair looking greasy as fuck. They look like they ain't slept or took a bath in days. And these are the people that y'all listening to. I will take JD Vance for 1,000. Moving on.
Take a single day off. You can do it. Nothing's more important right now.
Oh yeah, and telling you not to go to work. Well, that's par for the course for Gen Z. You don't need to go to work. This is more important. So pores. Let me give y'all some advice. Fake pores. Do not listen to these people. Carry your ass to work. Carry your ass to work. Man Danby is only for New York. It's not for where the fuck you live. All right, don't listen to me.
So please spread this around.
So on January 20th, now we're all just not going to do anything. We're all going to get fired from our jobs.
Exactly.
We're not going to
listening
make
to me
meals for our kids. We're not going to do anything. We're not going to drive anywhere. What do you think this is going to do? This is the problem with you liberals. When you protest, you think it actually does something. Let me tell you something. All you do is get together for a party. I used to be one of y'all. I was down there. We were protesting. We were partying. We were organized. It hit me like a ton of bricks. We don't even have any demands. We're out here for today, and tomorrow we're going to go about our business. And then I thought about anybody who was in charge of anything, anybody in power. All we're doing is disrupting traffic and making things inconvenient for an afternoon. That's it. All of you people on January 20th, you say you're not going to do anything. Why do you think we give a damn if you don't want to do anything? Nobody cares. You virtue signal to each other, and it makes yourself feel better about injustice. Please keep talking. I pray y'all keep talking. This is just, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. She was a mother. A mother.
Everybody want to talk about whether or not the ICE agent should have the lady. I'm trying to figure out why she was there in the first place. You got a son, you got a family. You out here defending Pablo and Julio like they give a damn about you. Go home and protect your son. You can't do that now, it's too late. Worried about the wrong shit. And it's the problem. When you start dating people, you need to find out what their politics are. What side of the fence are they on? Because I'm starting to realize all the crazies are a bunch of liberals. They're the crazy ones. What woman of yours is going to be out on the front lines battling for Carlos?
both of them was there, boo. Both of them was there. We got hold. Okay, somebody new got here. Let's go ahead and make sure that they know what's going on. Hold on. We pardon the interruption, child. Pardon the interruption. Let's hear it. This is from y'all. Love it over here on TikTok. Y'all love it over here on TikTok, right?
Wanted her out of there because she was the main car leading the protest, is my understanding. I talked to another guy who was driving behind her, but she was very successful in blocking traffic. She was doing what she was set out to do, and so they wanted to get her the hell out of there. Yeah.
So it looked like she was impeding ICE vehicles.
Definitely, yeah. Okay. That was her goal.
Is that her goal?
Wanted her out of there because she was the main car leading the protest, is my understanding. I talked to another guy who was driving behind her, but she was very successful in blocking traffic. She was doing what she was set out to do, and so they wanted to get her the hell out of there. Yeah.
So it looked like she was impeding ICE vehicles.
Definitely, yeah. Okay. That was her goal.
I guess that liberal white woman y'all won't listen to, though. All right. I figured as much, but don't say I ain't tell you. Pores, be careful of gargoyles. They're around. People that look like they ain't showered in a while look worse than Pigpen. That scream and tell you not to go to work. Don't listen to those people, okay? That tell you what you need to do, but they ain't doing it. Don't listen to them people, okay? I'm trying to help y'all. Yet again, I try to tell y'all.
Carlos is in here illegally. He need to go back to his country. Worry about the wrong shit. Got yourself. Good job.
Once again, I'm not a big fan of how ICE is handling everything. I also don't think that we should be trying to kick people out of the country who've been here for at least 10 years. If you've been here for 5 years, you should probably get your green card already, unless you're a criminal, because you've been here for 5 years. But 10, 15 years, you've been here. I don't understand why they're doing all of that. Honestly, I think they got a little bit too much dip on their chip when it comes to that. But I'm not.
I want to know why people aren't at their congressmen and senators' offices complaining to them so that they can get the people that they elected to do all these changes that they want. That would be the more appropriate thing to do, instead of trying to break bad with the people with the weapons, but that are going to get immunity, like JD said. So instead of holding your representatives accountable just because they on Twitter running off at the mouth and posting, y'all accept that while they do nothing but run off at the fucking mouth just like y'all. Wow. AOC over there saying nothing. Go to her door and say, bitch, if you don't get down there and put some shit together, because I don't disagree with what Brandon just said. At least fucking, if you've been here for 10 years, fuck it. I'm specifically talking about not 5 years, because it's only been 5 years since they came over this damn border. Go get them, child. And if they doing wrong, go get them too. Because, child, is anybody, for example, for those that know, Floyd down there in Brazil, who in the Brazilian jail, is anybody down there fighting for him, Bueller? For those that know about Floyd that is incarcerated in Brazil, is any Brazilians down there fighting for him, Bueller? They're not. So this definitely don't make no sense around here. But y'all, float on. Let these people do what they gonna do. Gargoyles.
Charging nothing. What I do know.
Her name was Renee Good. She was from Colorado, not Minnesota. She had traveled there. She left behind her children and her lesbian partner to be a paid protester against ICE.
Whoop. Brandon.
My next guest is in Minnesota. He's
damn, how you end it like that? Child, please. Anyway. So yeah. So first of all, 2 people were shot in Portland, and allegedly they're in Trinidad de Aguagra, child, however you say that shit. And JD had some words to say. He's like the pissed off uncle. He didn't had enough, and I don't blame him. And them people down in Minnesota is acting very liberal right now. and they just gonna cause more headlines, and they're gonna not listen to Timmy. Timmy told them how to protest, and they should know how to do it by now anyway. And I will fucking cuss whenever the fuck I want to, okay? So if you don't fucking like it, go the fuck on. Child, do I need to play the fucking video for y'all? Because motherfuckers always think that they running something and can't run their damn selves. Nobody's nothing and tell them nothing about what the hell it is that they doing. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna leave it alone. I ain't going back. If you don't like what you hear here, if you don't like what you hear here, if you don't like what you hear here, go the fuck on. If you don't like what you see on Kendra Damn G, go the fuck on. If you don't like what you see over on Ashley's show, go the fuck on. Why is it that y'all think that you can control shit? Get your own YouTube channel, start it the fuck up, and do whatever the hell it is that you want. But I promise you, I'm not gonna come over to nobody's nothing and tell them nothing about what the hell it is that they're doing. You go the fuck on. If you don't like what you hear here, go the fuck on. If you don't like what you hear here, if you don't like, if you don't like, go the fuck on. If you don't like what you hear here, go the fuck on. Go the fuck on. Go the fuck on. Anyway, so that's that. Shout out to the regular degulars that know. Shout out to Chris Reed. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate you. Shout out to all of y'all for hanging around for this foolishness. Tomorrow is Friday. I think I really need to do nothing, but of course I'm going to have to do it early, probably 3:00 show. And I'm sure there'll be more of this. Can we do y'all want to do something else? Do y'all want to talk about something else? But I just have a feeling that it's going to be more foolishness that we just can't not talk about it. But shout out to Reaper for everything that he's been sending me, y'all. If there's anything else that y'all see, send it to me on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram too. Send it to me in my DM. Send it to me in my email. It's in the description. Appreciate y'all for hanging out here. Good, bad, and indifferent. It wasn't that bad tonight. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Hit the like button. Hit the dislike button. It's all good in the hood. I'm going to bed. Y'all need to go to bed. Listen, don't go out there in the pores, fake pores. Stay your ass home. Go to work tomorrow, all right? Figure out a way to get off government assistance, and this shit will hurt you less. All right? That's it. That's all. See you all in the next one.